I wish to just go over a general update to things because it's been once since done this. Just go over the state of things. How's it going as a whole in terms of the channel itself? I'll say pretty good. Is it as good as it was in the early days? I mean, not as much, but I think. But as of late, with the recent surge of stuff I've been doing, and to explain why that is, that's because we are moving unit as well as going to exam period, and this is a time period in which we can actually focus. I can focus on this without getting swamped by other things. I've cleared up one of my I only got really basically one more assessment to do and all that shit. And that means, as a direct result, I don't have much else to do. Wait. So. Here we go. Let's just go over this in general here. How is this being done, and how do I value content on here specifically? This one here, for example. How to interact with Judgmental God, Ambition and Escape, Tips and Tricks. That is not necessarily a joke one at all. If you think it sounds weirdly bizarre commentary, it's not bizarre at all. If you want to look, it's because if you do encounter them, and as I said in the video, there's a chance you can still encounter them, you need to know how to deal with them. That's the reason why I'm making stuff around them, regardless of the risks of continuing propaganda. Okay, next. So I'd say this one has a very high priority value to it in terms of its content itself. As for this one here, Islamic propaganda, cult lunacy calling a paper a communist sympathizing antichrist. That is a highlighting point to lead into that. Marxism 101 is something I want to do because I am actually generally Marxist and have been studying Marxism for years. Okay, this is a joke video because it actually was generally a joke video because of the timing of the message. So honestly, if that one is worse, that's a very low priority one. But every single one of these four is high priority because these are solo research projects which I did, and this solo basically solo. These more experimental stuff. And he's busy right now anyway, so I can't do much about that. I still will continue those ones regardless because I want to do them. As for these things, yeah, sure. These were just still fun things I did. And going into the realm of anti-theism is still something I want to delve into. And I know I got copyright on these too because and I know that. This is just a case in which I just felt like doing these two. So this is say in general things. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are high priority ones. This explains an actual disability which is existing and became more prominent due to COVID-19. I guess you could say. This is highlighting propaganda and how to deal with propaganda, and so on. This is just a little more of a meme video, so if you didn't really watch this one, that's fine. These were just pure creativity ones. They didn't matter as much. This was a lead into the general direction I want to go into some things, so I want to cover more religious topics. This one was just a little funny thing. These two were just more random ass ones I wanted to do just for the sake of it. These I imparted information about how to deal with and around religion, and so on and so on. Okay, let's go into the analytics, shall we? Because this is where it matters. As you can see by the graph, spikes, falls, spikes, falls. And thankfully some of the ones which I put value in is in the top content for this period. Thankfully. One good thing I have noticed, though, regardless of the stagnant subscriber count, is this factor here. How it's been increasing this. And as a whole, I just really, if people actually, okay, for clarity, the reason why I tell people if you actually do enjoy it to actually subscribe is because potentially, if I can get to 1,000 subscribers, there's 1,000, and which I know is basically impossible in some cases. I know some might say that, but if I get to 1,000, I can maybe begin to push towards shorts to maybe give the overall view count on that, and then maybe I can get some degree of monetization back for the effort. So watch time, for example, watch time counts equally as much to the subscriber count. So for example, here, right, I'm trying not to be pushy about this because I hate to be pushy, but it's just something in which it helps. For example, right, it's just really something in which I think needs to be there. I just and as you see here, right, how people find it. Searches and suggested videos doesn't make up much. This is on my end, external stuff to try and do it. And overall, as you can see, it's mostly from the channel page itself, which is a interesting dynamic. What I'm really asking from this is fundamentally, if you are not subscribed, say in or are not really vibing much with it, can you say in the comment section below why exactly that is? I still want to cover certain topics because I want to cover certain topics. For example, I will be doing a update to designers in video, as well as some other light things in between, because I think that's relevant. And as a whole, I will be going into another subcategory surrounding the Eastern Lightning cult, around what is and isn't a heterodox cult, because that is a important factor to understand about this. Because what I think is going on with these cults is that some people just are not tuned into the nature of cults, and do not understand the key aspects of cults which surrounds it. And that, for example, what makes the difference between a cult and a religion, for example? As pointed out by some of the Chinese viewers who actually do watch my stuff, they said it very aptly. There's a distinction between there's more of a heavy distinction between cult and religion in the Chinese context, whereas in West context there isn't as much in terms of narrative. I think, for example, how it's phrased within Chinese itself is different. For example, how cult is phrased in Chinese is. I won't try and paraphrase it this second. I will probably paraphrase that properly in the actual heterodox video itself. But the point is, I still want to provide some good and interesting content that actually gives you information. But at the same time, do not expect this as a complete charity all the time because this is a time sink in some cases. And for me to give you information, it means taking a look at other stuff. And while I don't mind doing videos for now, because my patience is still there, my patience won't always be there. If people are not going to be considerate enough or won't interact enough as to what they actually want or how can it be improved, look, there's always a chance that I might one day decide to stop caring. That is a thing that happens with this stuff. Do not expect me to always care. I do it now because I think it's important to cover certain narratives in light of the situations surrounding things. But the thing is, I can do this right now because I'm doing it in between study and all that shit. And I'm already doing hard work on that, so I don't mind doing the extra bit of hard work for this in between because it's not that much more hard work compared to university assignments and homework. And that's a case and of why I'm also doing it while in university itself, because while I'm in university itself, I can access academic articles where I can't access them normally outside of university. And that is why it's super important that I get, in some ways, some good content out using academic sources on video now in this period, potentially, because it's super important. As access-wise, after I leave university, I don't have access to it anymore. The only reason why I'm trying to avoid doing certain topics as well is because of this thing here. I'm trying to avoid getting copyright as much as possible due to this thing here, because if, for example, someone wants to take down my video, they can request it, and I don't want that to happen because I don't want so much good information to be destroyed due to copyright request. And that is basically the fundamentals of this. Overall, it's going fine. I'm not stopping, but just your support would be help. Would be very helpful. So basically, it can just be simple as just liking videos, just commenting how you thought of the video itself. Something simple like that. Something so I know how to gauge where people are at specifically without me having to be so pestering about it in some cases. Because that is often what happens. And yes, I do understand that I'm a small channel, so I don't have much reach. I do understand that. I'm not complaining about that. I am rather just saying, those who do watch, and if you are watching this, just interact. It'd be fine. I just want to know where things stand. And also, if you are watching this, why don't you just help as well? Why can't you on your end just, if you think any video I make is relevant for people around you, show it to them? Because that would also be quite helpful as well. Because that's the thing. I can only do so much, and in terms of my social media presence, it's bare minimum. My Facebook, for example, got completely hacked, so my Facebook account, which was larger, is now gone. I now have a new one which only has 16 people, which I trust enough, and in my new Facebook account, it's never gonna get any reach that my old one did. So, what do I have left? All I really have left is Discord. And that's it. I don't have any Discord group itself necessarily linking to the channel itself, because I tried that before and that failed. And yeah, so I am very limited in how I can even promote what I do because I just don't have the access in social media. The reality is, a lot of people who are watching probably have more influences in social media than I do. I am doing this because I want to do it because I have a sense of duty around it. But in terms of social media presence, I'm dead. I've always been bad at social media itself, and this is where I think it's super relevant to raise this up. if you actually support my channel and what I do, you can help just by trying to boost the social media end. That's it. Because realistically, you as a viewer have much more influence than I do in the social media realm. I have a super specific and curated social media because I don't like having random social media accounts. But the issue with having a curated social media account is I don't have much reach. And what I can and can't do is also extremely limiting at the same time. So in the equation, as good as I can make the information for you, I'm honestly counting on YouTube itself in the algorithm to do anything. I'm also counting on those who actually do subscribe to actually support, because if you don't do that, I basically have nothing into the channel. I can't just boost it on a mega server or mega thing on social media because I don't have that. My Twitter's dead in terms of influence. My Facebook's dead in terms of influence. My Discord is heavily curated to people who often can't understand English proficiently. So it's like I'm in a really bad corner in terms of social media where I can get information for you that's accurate and good, but my actual social media influence itself is really bad. So the premise is, so in short, 1, if you actually do like the content, subscribe. 2, if you actually do like the content of a video, say underneath it why you like it or what you learned from it. Or if you can improve, say how can I improve it.